Welcome to this week's Week 6 Streaming and Waiver Wire podcast. I'm Jason Gilbo at Fantasy Football Cafe. Pretty low scoring weekend at Week 5. We saw a couple injuries, a couple guys step in for injured players. The big news of the week was Jamaal Charles going down, likely going to be out for the rest of the season with the ACL. I believe that's what it came back as. Just didn't look good. It was non-contact. Really disappointing from someone who's already had that issue once in his career. But we got to move on here. And don't go jumping to Niall Davis. Don't go jumping to Ben Tate, who they're working out. Charsandrick West is likely going to be the guy who leads the touches for Kansas City moving forward. Niall Davis is a very pedestrian runner. I don't think he's that great in volume situations, which we have seen in the past. West is likely going to be the guy. I honestly would really like to see Pierre Thomas jump in and work out with the Chiefs and possibly sign there and kind of play that role of can run and can also catch passes out of the backfield. But West is going to be the guy. We saw that he led the team in touches going down once Charles went out. But the Chiefs' offense did not look good going forward once Charles left the game. But definitely West going to be the guy to grab for the waiver wire. Kamar Aiken, Steve Smith is week to week here with the injury situation, but likely going to be out for quite a bit. Probably maybe another 2 to 3 weeks would be my speculation, but I'm not a doctor. Aiken, 155 yards receiving in the last 2 games in a score. Saw 9 targets on Sunday, 4 catches, 78 yards. Not bad. He does have touchdown upside. But, Baltimore are decimated in injuries right now, meaning Justin Forsett, Aiken, they're going to be the go-to guys for Flacco, so you got to like him moving forward. Gary Barnidge for the Browns. I mean, unbelievable. The Browns passing game has been out of control the last 2 weeks. They play Denver next week, so it's probably going to take a hold because they're honestly the best defense in the league right now. But Barnes has been McCown's number one guy so far. 26 targets in the last 3 games, a touchdown in each, over 300 yards of receiving there in that span as well. I'm grabbing him possibly to replace my starting tight end now, regardless of, obviously if it's not Gronkowski, but the guy's been pretty stable. He's obviously going to sit for me next week, but moving forward, you got to like that grab there. Could be some nice trade bait as well. Week 3 streaming options. Blake Bortles coming off a really nice 4-touchdown performance against the Bucs. The Jags were trailing from behind the entire time, and you expect that to just really happen a lot. They play Houston this week. They rank 23rd in pass defense. You're looking at the Texans defense that used to be pretty solid. Not so much anymore. They made Matt Hasselbeck look like, he's out there throwing the ball again like he's 25 years old. But Bortles going to get Julius Thomas back this week. He was limited this past week, but back. And that's in addition to Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson, who are just killing it right now for fantasy. So he's one of the really few streaming options I could take. I really like him actually moving forward because he's in a division with a lot of bad secondaries, a lot of bad defenses, so expect him to see him quite a bit unless his ownership really shoots up. Running back for this week, Theo Riddick. The Lions are a mess. That's no question, but Theo Riddick is kind of seeming to really lock up the passing role for the running backs. 10 catches this weekend, 53 yards and a touchdown. He's got 30 receptions on the season. This week he's going to face a bad Chicago defense. If you need him, he's likely out there. Great flex play, great ad in PPR, I believe. So a nice ad there. Willie Snead. Saints square off against the Falcons this week, Thursday Night Football. Good news is this game is in New Orleans where Drew Brees really thrives. Passing games didn't look great against Philly, but he still racked up some yards, threw a couple touchdown passes. Looked good the week before against Dallas at home. And it's kind of really with the emergence of Snead there. 12 catches last 2 games on 17 targets, racked up 225 yards in that span as well. Great streamer for this week and definitely an ad to keep looking at going forward. Looking at tight ends, Larry Donald. Could be a popular play, depending on your league, but still less than 50% owned and about everywhere. Ruben Randall, injuries up in the air right now. Also possibly Odell Beckham with the hamstring issue, which I guess he injured it celebrating. But regardless, they possibly could be out. More likely Ruben Randall. The Giants, threw a ton. They've been throwing a ton this season. Donald, I mean, we know what he can do. He's capable of catching touchdowns and making big plays. We saw that last night with that spectacular catch in the end zone to win the game. But, I mean, he's still a touchdown-dependent tight end. But now with Randall out, you kind of like the odds going forward, especially this week. So I like that move there. As for defenses, it's not great. It's not a great week. Looking at the lower-owned ones, the Vikings draw the Chiefs at home. Kansas City, they really looked lost once Jamaal Charles was out. The passing attack isn't great. Vikings actually have a decent secondary. They struggle against stopping the run. But obviously, if the Chiefs can't run the ball, that's going to be an issue. Or if the Vikings go ahead, the upside isn't great for the Vikings this week. But, they should provide a pretty solid game. I expect them to come out and win. I can't see the Chiefs scoring any more than 20 points this week. Should be a fine couple turnovers maybe, some sacks, but they're really one of the lone options unless you have unless you have a league that's got a lot of defenses floating around out there. So that's going to do it for week 6, and good luck.